Oh, hey guys. So we are a few blocks away from the center of the city right there, the old town. But we have other things to see now. Other things that demand our attention. And it's not the ice cream shop across the street. I'm not sure if you can make it out in the distance, but that is the cathedral here in the city. And I spotted it last time I was here, and I said if I ever come back, that's the first place, or one of the first places I have to visit before I do anything else in the city. So, that's where we're heading. To the P-Town Cathedral. And then, assuming that I get my directions right, we might also check out another church that was, I think was built in the 11th century, and they still have the original Roman walls. So, yeah. So join me on this walking tour, and we'll see what we can see. All right, let's go. Let's do this. And while the cathedral looms very close, actually, I wanted to bring to your attention... Ooh, I almost fell. My feet are not as stable as they should be right now. My ankles are shot from all these cobblestones, which is quite a shame, actually. I thought they'd hold up, but... as I take you on this off-road adventure before crossing the Warta River, because I wanted to show you, for my runners and cyclists, look what they have. I actually was looking this morning. There's more trails farther down, but let's go down the river for a moment. Oh, and when I say go down the river, I mean when we cross over the river, because it's funny, just as I took those steps, some guy who's in the center where I wanted to be, he's like looking back at me, all suspicious. I'd rather take my chances with the guy across the river who has a dog. So here we go. As I see the river, and then we're going to hit the other one momentarily, I can't help but think to myself, a little bit of World War II. As the German tanks crossed the border, and they quickly advanced over here, there were families that fled from here to Warsaw, thinking there'd be safety in Warsaw, and then they fled from there to Lublin and farther to the east. And there was like a continued debate among the families. I read this in a autobiography about like what was worse. Did you want to deal with the approaching German military, or did you want to deal with the Russians? Which one was the lesser of the two evils? So as I was crossing the river, it crossed my mind. So here we are, we're on the other side. To the right, I'll point out to you, there's like a, I was gonna call it a food court, it's not. It's like a cafe, but all they do is serve alcohol. If you see those stairs, I'll point it out in a second. If you, directly where I'm facing the camera, there's a place there where people go hang out and buy their beverages of choice. You see kind of a pretty sight. I didn't realize the water was flowing this way. That's funny. Yesterday when I was down here trying to get a lay of the land, on that side, in that direction, there was a guy out on a jet ski, because there's a little bit of a port. Yeah, there's a port down there. But as you see, we're in like Graffitieville right here. And we're not, the church is right up the hill. Oh, good. All right, so I don't know if you can see it. I'm trying to, there's a dog over here that I don't like the size of him. But there's a boat right here, and you can take like little taxi rides, if you will. It's really nice and quiet here. I have mentioned it before, In the Shadow of Satan by Dr. Subzinski, and then his follow-up book, The Colors of Life, that talks about the German and Russian occupations, and then in his case, how they fled here, went to Warsaw, to Lublin, and then eventually, with his medical profession, he ended up practicing here until he went to the United States. So it's interesting for me to be revisiting, at this point, an area that I've heard about. So here is the cathedral, which I imagine Janusz has been many a times. It's beautiful. Hopefully there's not a mass going on. I believe, so you have there's an architecture museum here to our right over there. And then you actually can cut down and there's an art, I think there's an art museum as well in this facility. Among the fact that there's a Curia, C-U-R-I-A, a religious school probably to become monks or brothers and stuff like that. It is massive. Look at this. If you're me just looking up, it's intense. So as we walk in here in the cathedral, Christianity started here back in the 9th or 10th century. And when Pope John Paul came here, he made this specific church a cathedral. You'll note, though, it has a different vibe than the other church we saw most recently. That had more of a Romance or Renaissance feel, even though it was Renaissance, but saying with all the artwork. This one's definitely more, I don't know, different vibe. Definitely a different energy in there. It wasn't what I expected. I don't want to say it, but it's kind of true. I didn't really even like it. Yeah. I don't know. It didn't... It was more stark in a way. It didn't have that same kind of like the Franciscan church that I went into, St. Anthony's, in my other video. That one, it's like you could feel the love when you walked in. This one was kind of more of that prim and proper order, if you will. And, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, some churches are going to resonate differently with other people. That's just my take on it. Huh. I don't know much about this section of town. I just know that I looked at it for potential running. Some bees hives over there. An academic building. Huh. I'm so confused. Thought there was a little bridge you could use to cross over stuff. I'm glad I can make out some of the Polish on the sign. So this is the archdiocese of Poland's, of the city's stuff, including the museum over yonder. And these museums, anyway, they don't open till 10. It's all good. We have other stuff to check out. So right here is the old fort. That they actually have a tunnel that goes across. There's a gallery. There's an art gallery. If you go through these doors right here, it's closed right now. but you go through the doors and it will connect. Well, like it goes across the river, and I think it was a river, yeah. But anyway, can't get in, sadly. But here's the old fort. You should check it out on your own. Cute little cafe across the street. All right, I don't really feel like trying to figure out where I am, so we'll go straight. So here's a random question. Oh yeah, do you see these rails right here? These, if I remember reading about right, these are like the original ones in the entire city. Or they, I don't, maybe not the entire city, but this is what the original tracks look like. I do remember that note of interest, if you will. But what I was going to say is this. You know, I get it, it's a historical thing at this part, but are cobbles more efficient than just cement or like asphalt? Can someone answer that for me? And here's the back side of the church I said I didn't like. The cathedral. And now we're going to go across the Jordan Bridge. I believe it's called the Jordan Bridge. Only the best for you guys today. It is crazy how different it is on a Monday morning. Yesterday, it was just like tons of people. All right, thousands. Thousands sounds better. The food fort is over there that we can't get to. But this is the bridge known as for the Bishop Jordan. And it is a lovelock bridge. And it goes over the Sabina River, I believe. So if you guys noted that fort that I told you we could cut through, if you got through that, then you would, the crossway is an art gallery that takes you into the bigger building across the way. Now this is actually kind of nice, you know, as someone who appreciates finding the lovelocks in town, I am happy to report we have found them. And they made this in such a structural sound way, it shouldn't be an issue, I don't think. And they have it on both sides. Huh. Although it's interesting, 2013, we got an older one here. They've been here for a while. See, that's what you should do. You should go through and try to find like the oldest one you can find. 2015. Seeing a lot of K. So here's a serious lovelock question, okay? We're gonna cross the street. If you break up with someone, is it then your responsibility to come back over and remove that lock? Or do you just leave it? Like, has anyone ever kind of had to do that? Or felt obligated to? Well, feel free to put in the comments what the answer is to that, but I wanted to point out as we cross the Jordan, it's amazing how the foliage just makes it seem like we're in the middle of nowhere, even though we are in a major city. Huh. There's a Lodi natural ice cream place. Looks like just the one that I have across from my apartment that literally from the time that I arrived until the time they closed, they had a steady line of people throughout. This is cute. Cute little cafes right here. So for people that again want to have kind of the cafe lifestyle but get a little break, you got a lot of them over here just across the Jordan. Ooh, breads, cakes, and snacks right there. Oh, I'm glad I found this. And again, for my introverted brethren, maybe this is a good contrast. Got the Odessa market right here, which means it's got a bunch of Ukrainian food, And it's in Ukrainian right down here, so you can see that. Ryba. Molochne. Oh, look at this. Alright, I'm liking this area. And I think, if I hit it right, this church here is the one with the, like, original one with the Roman wall. Oh, yeah. And because I guess they wanted to make sure people knew where they were, here's a mural that they put up. This is considered a major tourist attraction. And supposedly it's better. It's better in the light. Look. It's actually pretty cool. Ooh, I found a breakfast, lunch, and dinner place. Do Srodka. Maybe we'll go there in a second. We're now in St. Margaret's. It's from the 14th century. It's not the Roman one I was talking about, but it's still cool looking. And it lets us walk in the shade and see the other little cafes and Asian street food and other restaurants they have in this area. Oh, I really am delighted to have come to this part of town. Because you really are. You're still close to the center, but you're kind of in your own little spot. We can't get into the church, St. Margaret's, but here she is, right here, in all her glory. All right, I walked into that stupid gate. So anyway, I was going to tell you, the church is from the 1200s. Yeah. I'm going to have a welt on my thigh now. God. Not cool. Trying to recenter myself. I wanted to show you this cute building right here to the side as I kind of limp over. God. Oh, it hurts so much, my leg. It's like I got stabbed by the gate. We have our friend the pig. He's shown up again. I haven't seen him in this section of town, so it's interesting that the pig is here. And there's some spots going this way. Look at these nice red flowers. Makes you feel like you're in France, not Poland. So I'm reading about the Srodka District, which is what we've been walking through. And I didn't realize that it was a support settlement to good old P-Town across the river. But it survived for over a millennium because the community has done well. Part of it is on Cathedral Island, or it's right next to Cathedral Island, which is what we came from. So Cathedral Island, and now we're in the district. And this sucks. Now I'm seeing one of those little tour things. These lazy people who can't walk it, huh? Well, at least they didn't get punctured by a gate. And here we are, we're in the middle of the craziness. We'll call it Srodka or whatever it is. The circle, right next to the hospital. And I now see my church. The second one I wanted to show you with. So we have to go underneath the street to get to it. And then we're going to check out the lake. And this worked out well because I didn't really want to wait for traffic lights or anything like that. So to just kind of cross over here, even though I still think it's eerie and creepy, it's so much easier. So much easier. I was kind of hoping to see some shops underneath here though, but I guess we're not so lucky, are we, guys? The only tricky thing is I'm not sure which one of these we come up at. So I just took a random one to look. And I'm going to go over one more. All right. We hit the double whammy. meaning the lake and the church. So, if I had looked at Google Maps in advance, haven't looked at it since, but if I remember right, if I looked at the maps right, I believe this is the oldest church in town. I believe. And on some part of it is the original Roman wall. Which, wow, puts it in perspective, doesn't it? You know, I was just going to comment how there wasn't that much trash. And then I see in the park there's trash. So we'll keep that comment home. And people sleeping on benches. Here we are. I think I came in at the wrong spot. Like, honestly. I'm like, is that the wall over there? God. Well, I'm not scaling a wall, guys. That sucks. I think we had to hit that from the street. Well, it is what it is. Keep going. Keep going. And here we have like a little tourist train right over here with looks like a cafe. I was supposed to have run over here this morning. I didn't though because of my sprained ankle. But a quick story, or side story anyway. After I gave up so easily on that church. If I remember right, so a couple years ago when I lived in Poland, I looked into coming to visit here. And there's a hotel that's right on this lake. And one of their selling points, or their bragging points anyway, was that they had a 5-kilometer trail. So, there you have it. And that's why, one of the reasons I wanted to visit here. I mean, in addition to the history aspect and what I learned and the connection to my friend, but when I was looking for places to stay. God, this is freaking eerie. I know, I made that comment. I wasn't going to go to try getting that church. I was going to give up. And I thought maybe there was an easy turn, but look, it's still a wall. What a pain. And every time I see like graffiti and trash, it makes me uncomfortable. Because I don't know what that means. There actually is a little bit of a hut inside these woods right here. Not that I should be filming it, but yeah, good times. Makes me feel safe. You know, I'm glad we avoided going any deeper in the woods, because look what I have found right here. The Jiki sign. This is where they live. I didn't realize it. Good call. Good call. I think we'll go in the opposite direction. Definitely. Maybe not run here at all. Mother Nature doesn't want to be left out today. I see my ducks of the night watch, as I call them, the one with the black bodies with the white head. And the pigeons are out. Mama duck with her, oh, you have little babies. Aw. Hey, Mama. And we're walking over here because in my quest to see more of Poland's nature, I'm always curious if there happens to be a straggler mandarin duck in the fold. There appears not to be. And they have claimed this place for themselves. Look at them, standing proudly on that dock right there. It's okay, guys. And they're also guarding the zip line. Well, as the ducks rest, I think I'm going to take a rest too. So we'll pick this up again in another city, guys. Thank you for exploring with me. Thank you for visiting this part of Poland again. All right, I'll see you real soon. Peace. Real quick little bonus. So I've gotten out of the midday heat, and I stopped off at that Ukrainian store because I couldn't help myself. And look what I bought. Pelmeni score and some nice rye bread, I think. The real stuff. Don't get jealous now, I got even more. Smetana. And last but not least, some nectar juice. So, I'm gonna enjoy myself a nice big lunch now. Alright guys, see you soon. Peace.